to table this item of discussion, and the reason for that is that we do want to reach out to several offices on campus to clarify some details on this specific item of discussion, so therefore I will be motioning to table it.
Thank you. There's been a motion to table menstrual care accessibility as an item for discussion. Is there a second? All those in favor, please say aye. All opposed, please say nay. Does anyone abstain? If not, then the motion is passed. Are there any other items for discussion? If not, we move on to the next order of business, which is ex officio reports. May we please have the... Okay, may we please have the report of the student trustee?
All right. Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to the new week. We have Mike working.
Yes.
Okay, sweet. So we only have like about 4 or 5 weeks left, so we're almost approaching the year. I'm really proud of all the work that we've done, as well as making it to begin next year. So first off, I want to let everyone know that I've been appointed to the Systems Committee Working Group, focusing on artificial intelligence. I look forward to keeping you all updated on how it's going. Also, I accepted an invite to host the 51st annual Chancellor Standards Service Edition Award Ceremony on April 13th. It's going to be an opportunity for us to recognize students across campus who devoted a lot of time, energy, and commitment to upholding our service identity. I will also be attending the bi-monthly graduate student council meeting this Wednesday. They will host their regional elections. In fact, usually this will be for next academic year. I will be coordinating with both our Urbana and Springfield student trustees for an end of the year meeting sometime later this month. They're both seniors, so they will be on their way out. So I will have that opportunity to congratulate them on behalf of all of us for their hard work for their prospective campus, and looking forward to meeting new trustees for next year. And then as a reminder to anybody here who is an executive board member of student organizations, the renewal for your student org has started already. Please keep that in mind with CSI. If you have any questions, to reach out to George Gargara. And finally, I'm planning to schedule a couple of meetings with the following individuals just at the end of the year. Wrap up. One of them is Dr. Nick Jones, who's the EVP for the system. Dr. Javier Reyes, who is on his way out of USG. Third, to serve as our interim chancellor, being appointed as the next chancellor for the University of Massachusetts at Amherst. I'll also be meeting with Dr. Marilyn Miranda, who's coming in as our chancellor. I'm looking forward to working with her and to see the vision that she has for UIC and for unfold. And finally, with Dr. Mark Rosenblatt, who is the current Dean of the U.S. College of Medicine, but he's recently been appointed the interim CEO of UI Health, which is very big, and he will replace Dr. Michael Zen, who currently serves as CEO for quite some time. So that's all. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any questions or comments regarding student trustee Hawk's report? If not, then the report of the student trustee will be filed, and we will move on to the next order of business, which is officer reports. May we please have the report of the president?
Thank you. So my report is was sent out to the email chain. Spring meeting 9 report was attached into the packet. So I apologize for that inconvenience. But I met with CSI. In this meeting was Joy, who's the executive director of CSI, and Vance, who's I think the assistant director of CSI, and Fred McCall, the interim dean of students. We discussed the funding process and issues that student organizations have been facing with CSI funding process. And we've identified some key issues, much of which is out of CSI's hands. So how the process works is that you apply for funding, and if you're awarded the funding, they send like a proposal to an office that's at the UI system level. You know, this process can take anywhere between 3 to 5 weeks, and there is only one office, which I believe is in Urbana-Champaign. So I'll work with student trustee Hawk to look furthermore into this matter and see how we can advocate to make this funding process more streamlined. In addition, something that we were able to negotiate out of all of this is to include student representation within the 2 committees that are formed to kind of oversee the funding processes. So that's some big things that will be upcoming next semester. Is that CSI will do a much better job at, implementing students into these committees. And, I mentioned this in my last report, but I found, many bills in the Illinois Assembly that needs to be looked into, so, we'll take a careful read at each of these and see which ones, we would like to, advocate for. The two ones that I saw is one that calls for UPass, UPass for, the Metro. So I think that's something very interesting that we can, tell legislators to support. And the other thing is, a grant that goes towards, on food insecurity or food hunger initiatives, within each, colleges. So we'll also look into that and see, how, that would, specifically, work. In addition, I met with a representative from the Iris Booth, company to inquire about, cost and logistics. I included a link to, what this is. It's a professional headshot booth. Basically, it's a place, where you can take professional headshots, and this has been implemented by many universities, by their student governments, and, you can take a look at the website and see, whether this could be a good fit, for our campus. This was something that we discussed, last academic year, but never, went through just due to, running out of time in that academic year. But, on that website, if you navigate it to like the school section, there should be a PDF that shows like everything that you need to know about this professional headshot group. And reserve funds. So, following up on, the main questions that was brought up in last meeting, we'll meet with the Dean of Students Office to figure out how this process, will proceed and how exactly, it all works, and we'll keep everyone updated on, what they, offer up to us. Finally, just, setting up some meetings with the, Vice Chancellor for Student Affairs and the Provost, follow up on it, on topics, we've been discussing, all throughout this year. And I yield my time for questions.
Thank you. Are there any questions or comments regarding the president's report? If not, the report of the president will be filed. Next, we have the report of the vice president.
Everyone, so I'm in email correspondence with Dr. McCullough. The religious exemption form they had at the US website. We're just sort of talking about how that can even happen, maybe filing with the Office of Intersectional Inclusion. See what would be best for students. This is just so they have centralized resource and feel heard when they submit their forms. I'm following up with the Vice Chancellor of Office of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion on a meeting time. During this meeting, we just want to talk about the survey results for the hall food options and more about the religious exemption process. I'll follow up with them this week after that. I mentioned this last week, but I didn't even talk about the specifics about what Associate Chancellor Bills talked about. She's the co-chair of the behavioral threat assessment teams. And some of their worries just revolve around employee retaliation. So I think I'm going to look into that a little bit and see what UIC does during that process if they have to let someone go. Also mentioned some of the initiatives working on, and then last year I looked into this a little bit. I don't know if anyone wants to look into it a little bit more, but just let everyone know all professors are mandated reporters, because we're looking into the issue of like if survivors want to share their concerns with like professor that they trust. There was a lot of concerns that they have to tell like the Office of Access and Equity. So seeing if there's anything we can do to get around that, because that was a concern for some students. And then after the resolution on student safety passed a couple weeks ago, we're trying to set up a meeting with Vice Chancellor Dixon, as mentioned. And then Speaker Michelle and I were talking to Vice Chancellor Raphael on some mental health issues, such as some mental health counseling. So we're just in some correspondence with him on what the status of that is, and I think about that questions.
Thank you. Are there any questions or comments regarding Vice President Michael's report? If not, then the report of the Vice President will be filed. Next, we have the report of the Treasurer.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to General Body Meeting number 10. Feels pretty surreal to say that.
but the semester is almost over. So getting into it, I've been coordinating with our advisor, Dr. McCall, regarding USG spending statements and the Treasury Committee's budget breakdown. Going along with that, the Treasury Committee has been working tirelessly to update the budget, accounting for all allocations and appropriate expenditures. We'll be getting to that a little bit later in this report. Another thing is I have been coordinating with Secretary Ganya and Deputy Treasurer Matthew regarding payment logistics for the gala. I'm also coordinating with the Dean of Students Office and submitting RFFs and planning for upcoming USG endeavors. All items that I am placing will be delivered to the DOS office, which is located in the Student Services Building. So if any of you have had any resolutions recently that require items from, say, Amazon, then please let me know, and I will let you know when the items are delivered to the Student Services Building, and you'll pick them up. Next, I was also present in the meeting with President Matthew Almendros to discuss DFS student organization funding. We met with Joy, Vance, and Dr. McCall, as you mentioned. I personally advocated for USG representation in the Student Activities Funding Committee, I feel like we should, because USG used to have the ability to collaborate with student organizations, and now we really don't. So it would be great to have some sort of USG, representation within that board, at least so we get a better understanding of how funding works. And lastly, I'd like to direct you all to the spring GBM 10 budget update, and Representative Jesse Billman will be speaking a little bit about that.
All right, so let's keep it brief. For our total budget, we started off with the 126K. Spent thus far, it's been 91,000. I'm pretty proud of that. Right now, our money's tied with $20,000 in allocated funds. Just wanted to note, by the way, this 20,000 can change. It can have increases. Allocations are the max amount we have for initiatives. Overall, different things can happen that can make an initiative cost less. So overall, that can decrease. For right now, our federal remainder is 15K. Right now, that's obviously going to change. We've been a few initiatives, but around next GBM or so, we'll account for those. But as you can see, we're perfectly fine for any of the initiatives that have passed.
Thank you. Are there any questions or comments regarding Treasurer Bastos' report? Or the budget? Oh, yes.
Yeah, so ultimately, I think after today, there might be a couple of things we missed too, a couple allocations, but I think we'll be looking at around $14,000 remaining in the budget for this semester. And we'll decide as a body what we want to do with that. I think that it would be a spectacular idea for us to think about one larger initiative that we can implement, pass a resolution for it, and have some administrators fulfill it for us within the summer. And I want you all to think about these ideas, but one idea that I have at the top of my mind is like a charging station initiative. This has been floated around by multiple people within the student government. And I think that this could be a really good way for us to benefit a lot of students significantly with the money that we have left. But just want to leave that there.
Are there any other questions or comments regarding Treasurer Bastos' report? If not, then the report of the treasurer will be filed. Next, we have the report of the speaker. Happy meeting 10. We have 3 meetings left, so please be sure to get your resolutions in before then. Something really important and exciting. I am searching for a nominee for a student mental health task force. Assistant Vice Chancellor Raphael reached out to me seeking an undergraduate student representative to serve on the U of I system-wide student mental health task force as a representative of UIC, alongside some administrators and other students. The time commitment is roughly a monthly 1-hour meeting, which will begin next academic year. Ideally, I'm looking for someone with an investment in advancing the health and well-being of the UIC community. And the search will be open to all undergraduate students, but I thought I would extend the opportunity to all of you now. If you're interested in being considered for this role, please reach out to me and we can set up a meeting. For the MHC care package distribution, thank you to everyone who helped out and stopped by. I think the event was a major success. In particular, shout out to graphic designer Zaina, Representative Juana, Representative Veronica, Director Manasvi, Director Jair for helping out during this event. I would say we reached well over 200 students, and we were able to advertise Mental Health Town Hall and also Juana's upcoming town hall as well. So yay, thank you. Speaking of the mental health town hall, it will be held on Monday, April 17th from 3 to 5 p.m. in SE 302. Please tell your friends as snacks and refreshments will be provided. I contacted graphic designer Zaina to get the graphic made, and it was passed out during both MHC and CSC tabling events. Also congrats to Commissioner Felix and the rest of CSC for holding a great tabling event. The link for the question submission form, which will be anonymous, will be on the USG link tree. And the flyer will be posted soon as well. In terms of the USG Spring Social, thank you to everyone who came out and grabbed some pizza on Friday. And I hope you were all able to enjoy the delicious catering despite our huge thunderstorm. And thank you to interim speaker Yasmin. I will yield for questions. Are there any questions or comments regarding the speaker's report? If not, then the report of the speaker will be filed. Next, we have the report of the chief of staff.
Okay, my report is a little bit brief this week because we didn't have director meetings last week, but I attended the social like Michelle was saying. It was very cute. So thank you to Yasmin and Michelle. And then I received some updates from DIC from before break, but we hadn't gotten those in previous meetings. So the International Student Advisory Board is meeting. The tea event will be held soon, so it'll be April 6th. So excited for that. And then DIC has been working on a Chick-fil-A statement. And for directors who I haven't met with yet, we're having our director meetings this week. So I look forward to hearing updates from you all.
Thank you. Are there any questions or comments regarding the chief of staff's report? If not, then the report of the chief of staff will be filed. Next, we have the report of the secretary.
Hi, everyone. So also brief report because of spring break, and then yes. So I remember last report I mentioned that there could be a possibility to have a +1, but unfortunately, after moving forward solidifying the list and finding the balance between obviously us playing having a large section of being the attendees and then also inviting administration, then also inviting student boards. Unfortunately, we will not be able to give no one will be allowed to bring a +1 across the board. Last year, administration was allowed to, but this year, no one will be able to. I apologize for that, but I hope you understand my decision with this, just because planning events is costly. So I'm still waiting to hear updates from transportation services. They kept redirecting me to different people, but now I'm just trying to hear a response back. And then I'm also waiting on an update from Michelle Ramirez from DOS, because now T. Cooper is left. So I'm just waiting to hear back on the signing process for the contract. And then I'm also waiting to hear back from our catering vendor for the new catering proposal, just because there's some things that are unclear. And then right now I'm working with my committee to select decorations and place the orders from them through the Treasury Committee. I'm also beginning the process to develop the itinerary of that evening. And I just want to say thank you to my committee members for working so hard in and outside of my committee, because they're also part of other things too. And I yield my time.
Thank you. Are there any questions or comments regarding the secretary's report? Yes, yeah.
I have a quick question with the USD gala. Is that mandatory for all representatives?
No, it's not mandatory. But we would love to have you there.
And when will this be?
I'm sorry?
The date, the date?
The date is May 8th. It'll be, I think that's a Monday, May 8th from 6 to 9 p.m.
Oh, okay.
And then we'll work out transportation, because it is going to be where Navy Pier is. So I'm very sure not a lot of people might not be able to do that. So I'm planning to have shuttle buses that will take us from UIC directly there.
Thanks, because I have no knowledge of that.
Neither do I.
Yes, Lauren?
So you mentioned I'm gonna be able to bring a +1, which is understandable, but I heard briefly that with this gala, we also invite administrators and like student organization leaders. Will that also be excluded because it is so like we can't have a water park number of attendees, or?
What do you mean, will that be excluded? Will what be excluded?
So is this gala just for representatives of USG, or who else is like the USG?
So normally you want to invite like the people that have helped USG
Right.
function, so it's like administration and student organizations who have been like involved in like USG initiatives, planning, you know what I mean? So no, they will not be excluded, they will be there.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Treasurer Bassa and then Sophia?
I walked back in, I think I heard you said that where we are in the signing, the contract signing process is you're still waiting to hear back from Michelle Ramirez, right?
Yeah, I'm still waiting to hear back because when I was looped in, they kind of just like had their own little meeting together and then they discussed things and then they never went back to me to like say what happened. So when I reached out, I haven't heard a response back, and I think it's because like at that same time Tia was leaving
Right.
and then Michelle was going back in. So I'm just gonna reach back out again this week. And then I'm also just on the catering side, also waiting to hear back.
Perfect, thank you.
Sophia?
Oh, my question was very quick. So are you planning, I was asking you, but the question was, like, everyone from USG is counted in.
Yep, so every single member of USG.
Okay, so if if you couldn't come, would you be able to offer like your spot or something?
So the problem with that then is that if one person offers a spot for another person, I would just offer that spot for like maybe another administrator that wouldn't have been able to attend otherwise, because if I give one person the opportunity to have a +1, then I think everyone should have a +1. I wouldn't just want like how would I choose like this person, you get to have a +1, you know what I mean?
Any other questions? Yes, Veronica?
Clarification,
Uh-huh.
so like you said, we can have one person per organization or.
I'm sorry?
So like you said, we can buy organization, I mean, consider organization and work with us. Like this year, we're just gonna buy one member from that organization.
So I'm still solidifying the list. Last year, it was 2 members per student org. I have been, forwarded, quite a number of student organizations my way, so I'm still trying to counterbalance that. Because I think 2 members might be a little too much, but I'm still looking over, the orgs that were sent my way. Because I feel like, again, we're just trying to counterbalance everything, but I want it to be similar to last year where it was 2 students per org, but if the list extends more, then it would probably just be, unfortunately, 1 student per org, because our max cap is 80 people to be present there at the gathering. Thank you.
Are there any other questions regarding Secretary Dania's report? If not, you can always reach out to her or come to the gala committee meeting, and the report of the secretary will be filed. Next, we have the report of the Diversity and Inclusion Chair.
Yeah, so hello, everybody. So a couple of things on my report. The tea event's gonna be actually on April 13th. That's when we were able to get the table reservation in East Terrace. So look out for that. And if any of you guys are available at that time, so that's a Thursday from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. That's April 13th. Yeah, please let me know. And then there's the mental health town hall. Michelle kind of talked about it, but we're continuing to confirm our panelists for that event once again. And just make sure to book it out in your calendar to come and show support, ask questions, stuff like that. And then the last thing I have here is the mental health week that Gia and Brina are holding. So that's going to be the week of April 17th. So make sure to keep a lookout for those events. They're very exciting. And I've got some of the work that my committee members have, and something I forgot to include, unfortunately, is what I'll be working on with a couple members of my committee, Chick-fil-A statement. So, and I'll be working to meet with GSC to see if they'd be willing to come to our meeting next week to speak on it. But if you're interested in supporting that or helping out with that, please let me know so that I can, add you to the document and you can look at it and maybe edit it as well.
Thank you. Are there any questions or comments regarding the report of the diversity and inclusion chair? Yes,
Yeah, just to keep you updated, we have placed the order for the teas from Amazon, and Deputy Treasurer Matthew is placing the catering order from USG Catering probably tomorrow.
any other questions regarding Montessori's report? If not, then the report of the diversity and inclusion chair will be filed. Next, we have the report of the legislative affairs chair.
Everyone. The statements and the symposium, what the day is very exciting. So they will be doing it. Secretary Downey mentioned, reached out to Dr. Mackenzie for the time of the event. You know, so we need to work on the schedule. Over break, we met with, definitely, Nolo, Mara, Didier, Shahai, and the book, how to get for a loan center. We also met with Carol Anderson with the senior director of health, with the loan center. Talk about the SNAP benefit workshop. And for those who don't know, what the EPA is federal funding for, individual groceries. And we'll be partnering with the greater food, greater power food depository. Talk about that one link right there that I mentioned. If anyone in this room is wondering if they're eligible, or if not, I think you can put that link right there and come into the website, we'll be discussing this workshop. And what's interesting about this nonprofit organization is that when you're eligible to their organization, they pair you with an agent who will advocate for you to the Department of Human Services to further your application to receive this federal funding. So if anyone here is interested in SNAP, put that link, start this information, it's a great program. We also expressed that they would appreciate it if we could promote that, the hyperlink or the information that's attached to that second hyperlink, the information. We promote the food pantry regulations. So that's also another resource we have. Currently in conversation with Hannah Cabrera, with Representative City Flores, and Alexis, talk about how we can utilize the budget to assist documents with the campus. We're currently also speaking with Brenda Conrad. And below, I've attached the upcoming events we have. Some are tentative, but we will update you as soon as they're reported. If you have any questions, let me know.
Thank you. Are there any questions or comments regarding Director Jair's report? If not, then the report of the legislative affairs chair will be filed. Next, we have the report of the public affairs chair. Yes.
Hello, everyone. I'm going to do Kenvy's report today. So she coordinated with Representative Joanna regarding Community Speaks graphics and graphic and flyers. Will not be printing the flyers from CDS due to pricing issues. So Representative Joanna offered to print flyers from Staples. Spread the word about the many tabling events we had this week on Instagram. So great job, Mental Health Commission and Campus Safety Commission. Additionally, please come to PAC meetings if you have any ideas on how we can better promote USG on campus and hear from students. Committee meetings are open to anyone, and we would love to see members attend. And also, if you guys want me to make any graphics for any of your events, please feel free to reach out. You guys do not have to make your own graphics. Even if you need it the next day, I would be more than happy to literally make it that night, just because, I mean, that is why I'm here. It is my job. And also me and Kenby use a specific layout and fonts that best fit the Instagram. And yeah, that is all. Thank you.
Just reading this extra bullet point on the report. Big shout out to graphic designers. Yeah, they look beautiful. Are there any questions? Yes.
Yeah, Representative Juana, I want to speak directly to you. You should absolutely not be using your own money to pay for anything USG related. So I know there's a really strict timeline here, and we probably won't be able to go through the Dean of Students. So please let me know of any transactions that you use using your own money. Keep track of all receipts. And although the Dean of Students advises against reimbursements, we're really going to try to get you on there because I don't think you should use your own money. But thank you.
Any other questions, comments? regarding Kenvy's report. She's not here. Please direct them to Kenvy, and the report of the public affairs chair will be filed. Next, we have the report of the student success chair.
Hey everyone, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
All right, perfect. So hi everyone, happy first week of April. So Money Matters event was today. Shout out to Deputy Chair Nazar. It was a great event. I know a lot of students benefited from it. So a couple of events. Basically, we have the USG Iftar, April 5th, so this Wednesday from 6 to 9 p.m. If you have any questions, please reach out to Representative Saba and Nora. We have the public comment town hall, which Representative Juana is leading from April 10th, and April 10th from 3 to 5 p.m. So if you have any questions, please reach out to her. And lastly, the Student Success Committee is hosting the Popcorn Painting and Professions event from April 19th from 12 to 1 p.m. It is in SCE room 713, so I will update that on my report. Essentially, we'll have roundtables where admin from the following offices can answer questions students may have while they paint and eat popcorn and have lemonade. So essentially, we'll have 2 roundtables for LAS, 1 roundtable for engineering, 1 roundtable for pre-law, 1 roundtable for business, and 1 roundtable for career services. If you guys would like to help with setup or just in anything in general with the event, please let me know. And I yield my time for questions.
Thank you. Are there any questions or comments regarding Director Mahanoor's report? If not, then the report of the student success chair will be filed. Last but not least, we have the report of the campus life chair.
Hi, everybody. I'm going to read this report today. First, I want to say congratulate all the participating in student elections this past week. I'm very proud to see how passionate all of you are to ensure students stay represented in a way that will benefit the community. The USG Week of Giving. We thank everyone who participated in the USG Week of Giving. We haven't received the final numbers from the Wellness Center, but I'm sure that there are over 1,300 donations.
Wow.
You did not finish the last bullet point under USG giving, but I can only imagine that that's in regards to the celebratory dinner that will be putting organizations. The bystander intervention workshop, we're finalizing our list of organizations we'd like to invite. Please reach out to us if you have any recommendations of organizations we should invite. The Chancellor's Committee on Sustainability, Energy, CCSE, he's been asked to be a member of the CCSE, but he's looking for a deputy to take his place. The CCSE supports the Chancellor's commitments for a climate neutral campus, zero waste campus, net zero water, and biodiverse campus. It also advances the relevant solutions for climate action and implementation plan. The CCSE Leadership Council will meet at least 1 semester to approve, modify, or reject, or request further study of large-scale recommendations with major policy and or financial implications proposed by the CCSE, as well as approve periodic updates to the CAIP. The first meeting is Friday, April 21st from 1 p.m. until 2 p.m. If you're interested in sustainability energy, willing to be a member of the committee for the whole year, and are able to attend the first meeting, please let him know. And lastly, our campus life committee meeting is this Friday at 3 p.m. in the USG office.
Thank you. If there are any questions or comments regarding Director Felix's report, please reach out to him directly, and the report of the campus life chair will be filed. We will now move on to our next order of business, which is announcements. Are there any announcements? Yes, Nazra?
I just wanted to say thank you to everyone that came down and supported the Money Matters event today. We do have extra donuts, lemonade, and hot chocolate. I put them at the back there, but feel free to grab them. Also, there are leftover financial packers. A lot of students either forgot or just didn't want one when they did come to the event. So please grab them. They're in the USG office. They're in the box. And if you have any inquiries on scholarship opportunities, I compiled a little graphic. Reach out to me if you'd like access.
Thank you. Are there any other, yes, Veronica?
Okay.
Speak loud.
I'm with Nazarite. We're going to benefit the campus advocacy network, and they're going to have the domestic violence related event tomorrow to Thursday. I'm going to send more information in trophies so that you guys I don't have to read all of this, but basically they're going to have the events related to domestic violence, so that like survivors can speak and engage with the community. So I'm going to send out some information.
Thank you. Are there any other announcements? Yes, Manasi?
Not an announcement, but do you think you'd be able to send that graphic, Nazar, in the email chain? Because I think it'd be.
Yeah, I actually have copies of it in the USG office, but I can.
Thank you. Any other? Yes, Cliff.
I'd just like to congratulate the Campus Safety Commission and in particular Veronica for getting night rides to expand the hours. So, yeah.
Any other announcements? Oh, yes, you.
Just first, thank you to everyone that stopped by the table on Thursday. It was great to have, all the resources and students come out with positive feedback. So really appreciate everybody coming out and took a little bit of support. Huge shout out to Filipino who's in here right now for the nightcap. So the huge success, students loved it. They kept coming back from one, like, oh my God, my friend needs one. And, you know, I'm really happy to see all the students use these resources to stay safe. Second thing is also, please help us with spreading the message and the fact that night ride is pumping up to 10 p.m. As you remember, message in the group meet, we're trying our best to make this permanent and bump it up to 9 p.m. So as you can see through the email, we're trying our best to make it as public as possible. Other than that,
Yeah, just want to make sure like I'm going to also send out the link to the night ride survey. So like I hope that people can share it to the organizations or students that are relevant to fill it out so that we can have more solid data to talk with the vice chancellor.
so those are the numbers we're gonna use to talk with John Coronado and be like, these number of students have said this, and we can use that to better allocate the number of hours and everything. That's it, thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other announcements before we move on to adjournments? Can you believe it's only 7:47, guys? Okay,
No, wait.
if not, then we'll move on to the next order of business, which is adjournment. Is there a motion to adjourn the meeting?
I motion to adjourn the meeting.
Is there a second? All those in favor, please say aye. All opposed, please say nay. Does anyone abstain? If not, oh, okay, if not, the meeting will now adjourn at 7:48 p.m.